Hello friends, myself Professor Shantai V. Gurmat, MGBC Arts, Commerce and Science College, Middevihala, Karnataka State. Friends, so today's class we discuss about embryology. Embryology deals with the structure and development of embryo as it deals with the development of seeds and plants from flowers. It is also called developmental botany. The embryo develops from the fertilized egg or zygote. The embryo remains inside the seed. When the seed germinates, the embryo develops into a seedlings. The development of the embryo from zygote is called embryogenesis. The seed is naked or without fruit in gymnosperms and is enclosed by a fruit in angiosperms. The angiosperms is divided into two groups, namely dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Dicots, the seeds bears two cotyledons, and in monocot only one cotyledon. Friends, today's class we discuss about basically first we know about the structure of flower. Flower is a modified shoot of limited growth with condensed internodes and leaves as floral organs. During flower initiation, the shoot apex is transformed into a flower bud, which in turn develops into a flower. Flowers are structures of sexual reproduction in almost all flowering plants. A typical flower consists of four whorls of floral parts, namely calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. All these floral parts are arranged on the shoot on the short floral axis. The flower with all these whorls organs is said to be a complete flower. If any one of the whorl is missing, then the flower is said to be incomplete flower. The flower parts are divided into two types, namely essential whorls and non-essential whorls or accessory parts. Essential whorls are basically two kinds. One is androecium and other one is gynoecium. Accessory whorls are two. One is calyx and corolla. So today's class we only concentrate on the androecium. Androecium lies next to the corolla, means it is the third whorl. It is formed a few to many stamens. Stamens are the male reproductive structures of flower. Each stamen consists of a long slender stalk called filament and a bilobed sac called anther. Normally, a stamen is basically classified into three parts. One is a filament, anther, and connective. The first we know about the anther. Anther is the male sex organ of the plant. It is the microsporangium. It is a part of stamen. Enclose the pollen grains or microspores. The stamens or microsporophylls are units of androecium. They may be one or a few or many stamens in a flower. The androecium is the male reproductive part of flower. Each stamen consists of basically three parts: filament, anther, and connective. Majority of the anther consists of two lobes, means bilobed. Such a type of anthers are called dithecous. The two lobes are connected by a connective. When the anther consists of a single lobe, it is called monothecous. The classical example is Malvaceae. The first we know about the structure of young anther. The young anther consists of a homogeneous mass of meristematic cells. It is surrounded by an epidermis. The epidermis is single layered. In a dithecous anther, the anther soon becomes four-lobed, and in each lobe microsporangium develops. In each lobe of the anther, a plate of vertical row of cells gets differentiated into archisporium. The archisporial cells are hypodermal in origin. They are large, radially elongated, and contains dense cytoplasm and prominent nucleus. The primary sporogenous tissue develops into pollen mother cells. The pollen mother cells undergo meiosis to produce haploid pollen grains. Then we concentrate on structure of mature anther or structure of microsporangium. Mature anther or microsporangium is a four-lobed structure. These four lobes are connected by a parenchymatous connective tissue supplied with a vascular strand. Each lobe consists of an anther wall and an inner sporogenous tissue or pollen grains. The anther wall is differentiated into epidermis, endothelium, mid-layer and tapetum. It is normally four layers. First we know about the epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer of the anther. It consists of a single layer of compactly arranged cells. It exists from the very early stage and it is not derived from the primary parietal cells. The cells of the epidermis undergo anticlinal divisions, so the epidermis increases in surface area. In matured anther, the cells of the epidermis are gradually stretched and flattened. Epidermis is protective in function. The second one is endothelium. Endothelium is the second layer of the anther wall. It is also known as fibrous layer due to the presence of fibrous bands. It is present just below the epidermis. It is formed from the primary parietal cells. It consists of a single layer of radially elongated cells. The endothelial cells show the characteristic fibrous bands or lignin, which arise from the inner tangential walls. The endothelium is absent in anthers whose dehiscence is through apical pores, as in cassia and solanum. The cells of the endothelium, along with the line of dehiscence of the anther, are devoid of the fibrous bands. These cells are called stomium, where the endothelium is thin-walled. The stomium helps in the dehiscence of the anther. The endothelial layers becomes hygroscopic due to the development of fibrous bands. They play an important role in anthesis. And the third layer is the middle layer. It is the third layer of the anther wall lying below the endothelium. It consists of 1 to 3 layers of thin-walled parenchyma cells. It is also known as parietal layer. The middle layer is absent in Wolffia. The cells of middle layer store starch grains. The middle layer cells get crushed at the time of meiosis in the pollen mother cells. The fourth one is the tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer of the anther wall. It develops from the primary parietal layer. It is formed beneath the middle layer. It is formed of a single homogeneous layer of cells surrounding the sporogenous tissue. The cells of the tapetum are large, radially elongated, and contain dense cytoplasm and prominent nucleus. prominent nucleus. Tapetum is a nutritive layer for the developing microspores. There is no tapetum in the anther lobe at the tetrad stage of pollen. Pollen becomes, it was utilized for pollen development. Only remnants of tapetum may be seen in pollen chambers. Lastly, we discuss about the sporogenous tissue. The sporogenous tissues lies within the tapetal layer. The sporogenous cells directly function as pollen mother cells. The pollen mother cells undergo meiosis or reductional division to produce pollen tetrads. The microspores or pollen grains are surrounded by an anther wall, namely middle layer or endothecium and epidermis. Next, here we know that the types of tapetum. Tapetum is basically two kinds. One is glandular tapetum and another one is amoeboid tapetum. First, we know about the glandular tapetum. It is also known as a secretory or parietal tapetum. In glandular tapetum, the tapetal cells remain intact in their original position throughout the development of microspores. The tapetal cells do not degenerate. The cells are rich in protoplasmic contents and they secrete nutritive secretion from their inner surface. This secretion is caused by pollen grains. Glandular tapetum is more common in angiosperms than amoeboid tapetum. Then we discuss about the amoeboid tapetum. It is also known as invasive or periplasmodial tapetum. In amoeboid tapetum, the inner and radial walls of the tapetal cells break down and the protoplasm becomes a plasmodial mass called tapetal periplasmodium. The pollen mother cells get suspended in the periplasmodium and obtain nourishment from it from pollen development. The amoeboid type of tapetum found in anthers, the classical examples are Typha, Tradescantia. These are the common examples. Then we know about the functions of the tapetum. Tapetum is the innermost layer in the anther wall. It attains the maximum development at the tetrad stage of microsporogenesis. The first major function is nutritive tissue and serves for the nutrition. Okay, these are the basic functions of the tapetum. Okay, in the next class we discuss about the structure of the pollen grains and the development of male gametophyte. Thank you friends.